Hey guys, and welcome back to our continuing coverage here at Computex 2014 in Taipei, Taiwan. We're up at the Gigabyte suite and we have some new and upcoming products to share with you folks at home. First off, a very exciting integrated water cooling solution. This is known as the Water Force to go along with Gigabyte's already well-known Wind Force coolers for their graphics cards. This is an enclosed unit here which actually has three separate 120mm radiators. The tubing comes down the front here and goes through a 5¼ inch panel, and it feeds down to the system inside. This actually comes with three GTX 780 Ti graphics cards, so this is a extremely high-end unit, probably going to be more dedicated towards gameplay such as 4K, really high-end multi-monitor setup configurations and that sort of thing. The water blocks on the GPUs themselves are fully contained. Each one, again, feeds up to that 120mm radiator up on top, and they have full coverage for not just the GPU itself, but also the MOSFETs, the power delivery, and the memory to keep everything running nice and cool. It also comes with a really cool SLI bridge, which has a glowing Gigabyte Gaming Eye logo on it, which kind of pulses in and out. That's kind of a pretty cool little add-on because obviously if you're purchasing something like this, you're probably going to want to show it off, and that's a nice touch of bling there. You also have controls here up at the front, so you can change different modes. So you have a temperature, fan, and pump control. You can individually select each one of those, and then you can adjust things like you can say, I want the GPUs to run at this temperature, and then the fan speed will correct itself to that. Or you can say, I want the fans to run at a lower RPM so it's near silent operation, and then it will adjust it for that. Or you can increase the pump speed, again, if you want additional cooling and better performance, if you want to go for that extra bit of overclocking. So that was the Water Force, and this is the Wind Force, or the newest version of the Wind Force cooler. Extremely popular coolers for GPUs by Gigabyte. Now this, you will notice, says 600 watts. That's 600 watts of thermal dissipation that they've managed to get in this brand new cooler. Now the one we have here is currently available in the GTX Titan Black. It's not available in the US market, but this will be available very soon with upcoming GPUs, and that's all I can say for now. Now the cooler itself has a few new design considerations. I'm going to start with the aesthetic one, which I tend to like, which is the Wind Force logo right there on the top. First off, it's got an LED now, so it's going to light up like the demo unit we have in the case right over here. The other thing is that they've folded it upwards up against the card, which means it's not quite as high. And it also means when the card is installed in your case, you're actually going to get a nice look at the Wind Force logo and, of course, the LED behind it. Now, back to the actual more practical applications, which is the new design of the fans here. They have a special curvature of the blades as well as an extra notch there that's going to help improve the airflow. And then they've also done some changes with the fin stack on the aluminum fin array with the copper heat pipes there below as well. They've varied the height of each of those fins, and that's going to help reduce the air resistance so they can push more air across them, more thermal dissipation, and hence the 600 watt TDP. Now, of course, on the bottom, you still have a full copper block that's going to make contact with the GPU, as well as additional cooling over there for your MOSFETs and VRMs. This is the Raptor. This has a somewhat ambidextrous design. It is a symmetrical design. There are forward and back buttons on the side, so it might be a bit more suited for righties, but lefties, if you're interested, that is also a possibility. Also very suited for claw grip holders, so if you hold the mouse with the claw grip, this is going to be something that you might be interested in. Apart from that, you have a sniper button available on the side, so you can use that to lower the DPI down to about 400. That will help you get more precision aiming if you're playing FPS games. Of course, you also have Dpi adjustments, so you have 4 settings there that you can use these buttons on the top to switch back and forth between. You have some LED lighting going on the side there, as well as on the scroll wheel up here on top. You have a red LED back here as well. A bit of texture here, kind of rubberized texture, so that's going to help with grip, especially if you're a palm grip user. And then, of course, we have red highlights throughout. And then at the bottom, I took off the bottom panel there just to show you not only the optical sensor with 4000 DPI range, as well as the gaps there, because the Raptor also comes with a weight system, so you can adjust the weight to your preference. And now we're over here at the motherboard area. Did you know that Gigabyte has a whole line of Z97 motherboards? Yes, you probably did, because we've covered these a lot on our channel. Now, in case you didn't know, they've done a ton of work with the audio. If you want to, go back to one of our older videos and you can check that out. What we wanted to show you guys is actually some of the demonstrations they have going on here, because they have 3 systems set up to represent, say, some of the possible options that you might have if you're a certain type of gamer. So this one, for example, is the Gigabyte G1 Sniper H6. This is an H97 motherboard, which means it will not allow you to overclock if you're going for, say, an Intel K-SKU processor. But that's why the processor that they're using in here is a Core i7 4790S, not an unlocked processor. But not everyone likes to overclock. So if you don't like to overclock, you're not planning to, H97 motherboards are going to be a bit cheaper, as well as the non-unlocked SKUs for the Intel Haswell or Haswell refresh processors. Core i3, i5, i7, of course. So this particular system is also using a GTX 770 graphics card, also from Gigabyte, featuring the WindForce cooler. And this is an example of how you could set up a fairly basic gaming system, and they have it, of course, set up with gaming over here for a much more reasonable price point than what you would pay for if you were going for the top-of-the-line, overclocking-enabled types of features. If you want to step up a little bit, though, let's move right on over here. So what we have here demonstrating is a 4K monitor, and this is actually set up with an AMD system. Now, 4K gaming is still a bit difficult for a lot of certain types of platforms, but what they've actually done here is provided an example of a much more affordable 4K gaming configuration. So this is the G1 Sniper A88X. This is being set up with an AMD A10 7850K APU processor, so CPU and GPU both in one. Now you could use that and easily do some low-level gaming if that is what you're interested in, but they've actually paired this up with an R9 290, a very relatively affordable graphics card, but also still has 4 gigabytes of RAM, and it also still uses the Hawaii XT GPU from AMD, which means that even at 4K resolution, with a bit of a graphics turned down just slightly, you can actually get very, very playable frame rates without having to spend $2,000 or $3,000 on a really top-of-the-line system with multiple graphics cards. But of course, if you want to go all out, you could set up something like we have going on right here. Now, this particular setup, they have racing seat, racing wheel, full pedals. They've got a surround sound triple monitor display going on. So we have a full custom loop water cooling system set up here. It's all integrated to work perfectly with its surround sound monitors. We have a two-way GTX 780 configuration, of course, with the custom water cooling setup with it, as well as the Gigabyte Z97X Gaming G1 top-of-the-line motherboard. This is actually the Wi-Fi Black Edition, and it's got a fourth-generation Intel Core processor, the Haswell refresh as well. So if you want to go all out, you can go all out, but an excellent, excellent system there. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit the like button and stay tuned for more of our coverage from Computex 2014.